And we are live. Thank you so much for joining us on the Clydesdale Media Presents Meet the Athletes of the Semifinals. Before I get to my guest, I need to thank my sponsors. RX Smart Gear, the only jump rope I've ever used or ever will use. They provide world-class jump ropes, grips, and other gear for us all. Use the discount code Clydesdale15, all caps, for 15% off your order at rxsmartgear.com. Mobility Movement, MVMNT, is a program that teaches you how to increase your capacity to heal, reduce recovery time, and restore your nervous system to peak health. Everyone gets a free 7-day trial, but our listeners get another free month when you use the code Clydesdale free month at mobilitymvmnt.com. That's mobilitymovement.com. And finally, C4 Energy, delivering the most effective, best tasting, and high quality products for you. Get 20% off when you use the code Clydesdale at checkout at C4energy.com. That's C4energy.com. And now I'd like to introduce my guest, Justin Rhodes. Justin Rhodes. Yeah, after 40 some of these, I have to check the number or the name. Justin Rhodes. So how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me on here.
So you're out there, beautiful sky. I understand you have a family farm.
Yes, it's more of just some acres, just a little bit of land. It's nothing, it's not ag field or anything like that. But so it's fun to get on there. I'm very fortunate to have it.
And what do you do out there? Do you grow any crops or?
Yeah, no. So it's not any ag. There's a lot of ag surrounding it, but it's mostly just hardwoods. There's a pond down there. We like to go fishing. It's mostly just a place to get away and fish and hunt and just do things like that. So.
And you like that outdoor stuff, right? Like I noticed on your Instagram, you're out there with a bow or
Oh
hunting or
yeah.
fishing or whatever. Is that what you do to kind of center yourself and relax?
100%. That's my first passion. I grew up doing it. My dad got me out there, my grandpa, and I've just done it since I was, a small child, super little. It's my roots. It's what I'm used to, and I just love going out there. I'm super passionate about it. If CrossFit wasn't my thing right now, I'd be 100% pursuing a different path, maybe in the hunting industry. So
Well, there you go. Everybody's got to have their passion. So how did you
yeah.
find CrossFit in the middle of this?
I actually first saw CrossFit when I was in high school, about my junior year, and my high school football coach always made fun of it. It was super funny, and I was like, I'm not. I was my best sport or what I was really good at in high school was wrestling, and I just didn't think that I was going to do wrestling after high school, but I knew that I still wanted to compete. Um, and I was like, I'm going to do that when I get out of high school. But there weren't any gyms anywhere close at the time, unless you drove 45 minutes or something like that. So moving on, I went to college, and my first year of college, there still really wasn't a CrossFit gym around. Transferred schools a little bit closer to home, and first thing I did before I was even school had started, I immediately looked up a CrossFit gym, and the first one I found, I was like, I went into it, checked it out, and I was like, I'm never going to a Globo gym again. Like, this is so cool. Like, and then I was hooked. And
So
of course, you're always looking at, when you haven't started and you're looking into it, you see all the videos of Rich Froning and Josh Bridges and Dan Bailey and all those guys who are, studs and super cool guys. So
yeah, and where did you go to college?
I went to Northwest Missouri my freshman year of the Bearcats, and then I transferred to Missouri Western here in Missouri.
Okay. A lot of Missouri was a hotbed for athletes there for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I also noticed that this is your second time at semifinals. You were Granite Games competitor last year on that hot turf in Minnesota.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was so hot. I thought I'd be used to it, and I was actually kind of grateful going into it. I was glad it was hot because I have a lawn care business, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be used to the heat. I'll be fine. That was not the case. I was not ready for how hot that was going to be.
I also noticed you had a different hairstyle back then.
Yes, I did. I had very long hair. hopefully,
Decide
hopefully it'll be a little cooler this summer.
right. I was wondering if that heat is what made you say, "Well, time to get rid of this."
It is part of it, yeah, for sure. Long hair
Yeah.
is a lot of work, and it's really hot, and I was over it.
So you said you own a lawn care business.
Yes, sir.
Does that give you the flexibility to train?
Yeah, it's huge flexibility to train, and that's part of the reason that I started a lawn care business, was just so I would have so much flexibility. But give and take. It's not great for recovery in the middle of summertime whenever you're working really hard out in the heat, and then you're also working hard in the gym. So recovery is tough. But yeah, I have a lot of flexibility with my time, so that's the main thing, and I love it. I have a lot of freedom.
Yeah. Do you like being your own boss?
100%. Yeah. I
Never go
originally
back
thought
to
I might
anything
open up
else?
a CrossFit gym. Do what? Sorry.
You'll never go back to any other way?
Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said
I
something about opening a CrossFit gym?
Yeah, I thought about opening up a gym. I knew I kind of wanted to be my own boss after I'd worked a couple other jobs, and I just wanted to be on my own, doing my own thing, and not really having people tell me what to do so much. So yeah, but yeah, I originally thought I'd open up a CrossFit gym, but kind of opening my lawn care business. I'm not sure that's kind of a path that I want to take anymore, but so.
Yeah. And I noticed also that you are working out at the Heppner Barn occasionally.
Yes, I am. I'm trying to get there as much as I can this summer.
So, what's it like working out with a former games competitor and the teen phenom?
Oh, it's so much fun. There are a bunch of great people out there, and there's always that like competitor like nagging at each other a little bit, like I'm better than you, or this and that. So it's a lot of fun. They're great people, especially Jacob and Olivia, and everybody else is out there. But yeah, they'll run you through the ringer though.
Yeah, is Jacob still
Is he still what? Sorry.
fit?
Oh yeah, he hasn't lost anything, not at all. He beats me like every time. So
Yeah, I can imagine. It's hard to
he,
shut
he
that off, right?
yeah, he could come back this year and make it back to the games. Like,
His engine is unreal.
it's unbelievable. Yeah, his work
So,
ethic and is just unmatchable.
so do you consider him your coach?
Not exactly. I don't particularly have a coach. I have done his programming for a long time, and then my gym actually ended up switching to Mayhem, so then I naturally just went to Mayhem also. But I think this summer I'll probably end up doing a lot. I'm going to try to get down to his barn as much as I can and work out with him, so I'm sure it'll be a little bit different. So yeah.
And then how far is that from you?
Right now it's about 55 minutes from me, but I'm looking to move a little bit closer, try to make it about 30 minutes or less, 25 minutes, something like that. So
Okay, so you're heading to the MAC in Knoxville, an indoor competition this year, so it's a little more temperature controlled.
yeah.
The workouts were released yesterday.
Yep.
Did you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on those?
I really like them. I felt like last year at Granite Games, the workouts weren't really suited towards me as far as my strengths. I'm not a super strong athlete. So I think this year the MAC events are a little bit better for a guy who's got a good engine and someone who can move well at a moderate weight.
Okay. And I noticed also in the quarters, you made a big jump. While you qualified last year, it was like 116. You were kind of on that bubble waiting.
Yeah.
And then this year you cut that in half to 63rd.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. So it shows there's some drastic improvement there. What are your expectations for yourself this year at the MAC as opposed to Granite Games last year?
Realistically, I think know yourself as an athlete. Don't set super high expectations for yourself, or unrealistic expectations. I'm not going into this thinking like, oh yeah, this is my year to go to the games. But I think that I want to be maybe a contending athlete, to be definitely top half of the pack, or maybe fighting for one of those last chance spots. So yeah, and then of course next year I want to make another big jump like I did last year from 116 to 63rd. I want to make another big jump next year, and hopefully I'm thinking next year will be my year. That's the goal.
Okay. And so you've been doing CrossFit at least in the open since 2018. Did COVID slow down progress in making you more competitive? Because there was that window where you couldn't really go do any competitions.
I was very fortunate. Our gym lended out a bunch of equipment, and I had already actually been buying my own equipment for a while. So I had most of the things that I needed, and I had a friend of mine who has a really big barn. So I just basically set up all of my stuff in his barn and never really lost a beat there. It got pretty lonely. I'm not gonna lie. Working out by yourself, that definitely sucked. But as far as staying on track of hitting workouts, I don't think I really lost much.
Yeah, I think I'm diving more for like at Granite Games, you got your first like big time side by side competition, right? Where you had to learn how to compete live with other people.
Oh, sure.
And you didn't get that at a sanctional or an off-season one because of COVID. Uh, and I think that that's happened to a lot of competitors your age. You got stuck with this hole of COVID where you didn't get that like on the floor experience that others have.
Um, so I'm not 100% sure what your question is there.
Yeah, I was just saying
No,
like
go ahead.
that people your age didn't get a chance to do like Wadapalooza and Rogue and different
Okay,
things like that because they were all canceled due to COVID. And
sure.
so people older than you had all that stuff prior to COVID where they had either off season competitions like that or the sanctionals were the thing at the time.
Right. Yeah. So there were a couple little comps that I went to, but I haven't really honestly tried to go to any of the bigger comps like Waterpalooza or Granite Games before it was a sanctioned event or anything like that. My main focus has really honestly just been training for like what used to be a regional or a sanctioned event or now, semifinals and going to the games.
Okay. So is there any one workout that you're really looking forward to hitting this week at Mac?
No, not particularly. I haven't really thought that far ahead and like, oh, this workout's gonna be my jam. I'll take that back. I'm a little bit excited for the legless rope climb workout. I think that one's gonna be fast and intense. And it's gonna be definitely a forearm pump for sure. And
Yeah.
who wants to push that a little bit more than others?
Yeah. So my last question is on Sunday when it's all over and it's time to celebrate, what's the first thing you're going to eat or drink?
Hmm. My fiance and I really love Texas Roadhouse. So I'm sure that we will end up at Texas Roadhouse and just eat as many rolls as we can, and I'll have a big steak and a salad and whatnot. So
Oh, that sounds good. Mouth is watering already.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, Justin, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for jumping on.
absolutely.
And
Thanks for having me on here.
yeah, and we'll see you at the Mac. I'll be there in person. So maybe we can catch up there.
100%. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.